United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. And we'll begin with the minutes from the 8/19/19 board meeting. We have a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Chris.
I'll second.
Second by Nancy. Discussion, corrections, any? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. We'll move right into public comments.
Okay, I'm gonna start it off. 'Cause at the last meeting, there was some things that took place, and I'm gonna read part of it to everybody. It says, this is all business as 8/19/19. It says, the board unanimously adopted a resolution introduced by Councilperson Nancy Sykes, April 5th. Be it resolved until such time as the town of Lake Pleasant no longer owns the right-of-way at 175 Golf Course Road. The property owners with deeded right-of-way over this property must abide by the terms of the deed. Well, everybody's deed is different. That's one problem. Anyway, case closed. Be it further resolved, the property must be removed within 30 days or it will be removed by the town of Lake Pleasant. Nancy feels it is a liability issue and people are ignoring the town signs. Well, I've gone over this before. You can't touch anybody's property that's down there. It's illegal. If Randy goes down there, he could be arrested because he's bothering with somebody else's property. It's like me walking into your driveway and taking your kid's wagon, putting it in my car and leaving. He can't touch it. The town does not own that property. And I brought that up earlier, but I'm not even bothering with it now. But that's the way it is.
But
And after the last.
town does own that
Yes, it
property.
does.
It doesn't own the
No.
personal property,
No.
he's saying.
And after the last meeting, I again, on the way home from there, gave my attorney a call. He said, Dick, this is getting old. They
Can you
can't.
give us the name of
I will not
this
give you the name of anybody.
expert or this attorney?
I have
that
an
you
expert.
think-
I have an absolute expert.
Well, perhaps this absolute expert could help us
Well, you-
understand if
That's up to,
supposedly he does not, he sees things differently.
that's up to
than-
you, not me.
Well, we
I'm
don't
not
have the
defending
name
myself
of your
at this point. I know
expert.
what the rules are. You guys don't know what the rules are. And it's clear, everybody, anybody here knows that you can't touch that. And your property begins, and I'll tell you once again where your property begins. 20 feet from the mean high water mark on Sacandaga. Now, if anybody knows where that high water mark is, I doubt very much, because you're gonna need a surveyor to go down and figure out where it is. I mean, I was down there.
I made the resolution,
Yep.
the whole board unanimously approved
Because they don't
it.
understand what the rules are. They don't understand what, I'm telling you
Well, I
what the
think it's
rules
a
are.
difference of opinion.
No, it's not a difference of opinion,
I
it's a
think it
legal
is.
opinion, not your opinion, my opinion, or any of your opinion. It's a legal opinion.
You just admitted the town owns the property.
Mm,
When people leave their
You know what?
personal possessions on somebody else's property, they can be removed.
It cannot, because it's the state property, it is not the town property. That's the freaking
Well, you're talking
difference.
about the dock, yeah.
Absolutely, that's the difference, and this
Yeah.
is what Nancy's talking about,
It
taking their
isn't
personal
only
property.
the dock, there are
I'm more
kayaks
concerned
and
about the other stuff.
canoes and
Well,
things all down
Bottom
there.
line is they can't move it. It's the done deal. And if somebody touches it, there's enough people down there involved that somebody's gonna turn around, call the cops and have them arrested for stealing somebody's property. And that's all I got to say, because that's the facts.
I don't think there's much down there right now.
No, everybody clean your stuff up, look.
Is that paddle boat still there?
Yes, it is. It is still there.
And the wooden
Um,
dock and the,
The wind dock, I don't know, I don't know how long that's been there. I think that's just part of the property. I don't know, that might go way back, way before all
What's
of
that?
our time there, I don't know.
What was the question?
The dock, the
wooden platform.
wooden platform dock
The old
that's
rift.
up on the sand?
That's the old
No
swim
idea
raft,
who
right?
put that there.
Have you
It's been
always
there.
known it there, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we bought the house, that
been there.
was what,
It was-
92?
It was there then.
The
Yeah.
I'm
platform,
sure you-
the platform was built in 1973.
I built it, along with the other ROWs that are in this room and some that aren't here. But I built that platform. It used to be a floating dock, 4 big barrels, drums, whatever you wanna call them, underneath it. And we used to take it out, anchor it for all the little kids. And we had every little kid from the golf course road all the way down using that thing. And then it got just to be too heavy for us over the years. We put it where it was, and now people come down and bring their chairs and have cocktails watching the sunset on it. So that's where the dock, or not the dock, but that's where
The platform.
the platform, what do you wanna call it, came from, okay?
Okay.
Right,
I
so,
built it along with some other people.
As a point of clarification on what Dick was saying, and I don't think everyone understood what he said. It's 20 feet from the high water mark that the state owns. And that high water mark, go down there anytime in the spring, and you can have that water clear up to where the wooden dock is, the platform you're talking about. So it's something that the town would be worthwhile to investigate.
Well, I did a little searching on that, and in the whole Adirondack Park, there's 12 lakes that actually have an established mean high water mark. Saginaw Lake happens to be one of them. The actual elevation of the mean high water mark is 1,729.30 feet above sea level. So we're in the
It's over
process
my
of
house.
determining,
Or you're figuring that out now.
yeah.
Oh, and then
So
That's
soon
gonna
we
be
should
set.
have an established mean high water mark at that point.
okay,
then what?
Then what, then we look into the legality of where the town property starts and what's stored on the town property.
You
That
can have
should be
everything that's
removed.
stored there today.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but I can't remember your
Your
name.
property, yeah.
Well, I think you were just saying that we're gonna get sued if we
Myers.
go down there and try to take anything
Oh,
off the
absolutely.
property.
If you touch anybody's property
The
down
town's
there,
property,
you're
you
stealing
said
your
it starts
stuff.
20 feet
Okay,
from
let's
the
move
mean high
on.
water
This is
mark, but
gonna-
20 feet which way?
It's just a
Toward the
fact.
lake or away from the lake?
I know, but
South of the lake.
South of the lake. On the other side?
No, the other side's north, if you got your directions and compass out.
South of the mean high water mark, you mean?
Yes,
Okay,
Towards golf.
thank you.
Towards golf course, right?
towards Golf Course Road.
Okay, thank you.
okay. I have one more thing, and then I'm gonna sit down. I, Stephanie Smith, am here tonight representing the members of, we're calling ourselves the 175 Association. We are now an association. We, the members of the 175 Association, are asking this board to turn over the property at 175 Golf Course Road to the aforementioned association. We are also asking the board for the completed abstract on lot 175 for our attorney to review. If the abstract is not complete, would you please see that it is by the next board meeting on September 16th? Thank you.
Stephanie, are all the right-of-way participants, are they all involved with the association?
We
or-
have 100% verbal other than the golf course at this point. And we have all but, including the golf course, all but 3 signatures, I believe.
We had 22 people at a meeting, and all but 2 of the right-of-way owners were present.
22 of us, I think.
anyone else?
I would have a question. Is the abstract available?
Yep,
It's on computer, it's digital. And I thought that that had been sent to several right-of-way owners.
Never,
Never.
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 Oh, I know, I sent it to at least one.
Well, I know the one you sent it
Okay. But it can easily
I'm
be,
asking if it's available in hard copy to be looked at.
I have one copy of it. I do have a copy of it, just how you get a copy of it, I'm not really sure. It's quite thick, it's,
Yeah, it's about that thick. No, that's not.
Well, I don't wanna read it now, I just want to know.
You can borrow it, bring it back.
Could this be copied? I'd be willing to pay for it.
Another thing is, I don't think that all of the right-of-wayers, unless they were at the last board meeting or read the minutes, I don't think that they knew about the referendum either to remove the property in 30 days.
Resolution.
I
The
know, right,
resolution.
the resolution, right.
And we were supposed to be notified legally, but stuff just kind of floats around.
well, that was actually brought up at the previous meeting and tabled
Mm-hmm.
and voted on it at the last meeting.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no other public comments, we'll move to highway. Randy?
Well, on that note, before we go any farther, the resolution stated that in 30 days we're going to remove it, which means the 15th of this month. What are we gonna do? Because
Nobody has gotten a letter.
Excuse me,
I'm sorry.
I wanna know from the board, do I go to the sheriff's department and ask them that there's stuff left on town property that needs to be removed? Have them remove it, or what do you want me to do?
it might be a good idea if we check with the town attorney as far as the legality of how to handle that, if the board's in agreement of that.
Yeah, and I would like to see where the high water mark gets established. I think
Yeah,
that'd be clear.
so maybe we should wait until that's taken care of.
Yeah, that'd be my suggestion.
That was the easy one. I don't know if it was mentioned at the last meeting, cause I wasn't here. We hired Elizabeth Weaver out to the transfer station as a laborer. After speaking again with Tracy Eldridge, we were allowed to put just a laborer, willing to learn and grow, I should say, out there, into broader, job descriptions. So she started last Thursday, so, we're training as we go. Parking lot expansion that I mentioned the last meeting I was in, we are having a joint meeting about the fish hatchery parking lot. I say we, it's DOT, I believe DEC, Line Timber, possibly the APA, myself, are all going to go up there. The APA and the DOT are not getting along as far as decision-making of what to do up there. As far as, now they wanna change the design of the parking area. So, we're months into this and now they come up with this, so. we'll see what
It was
happens.
the APA and,
DOT.
I'm not, okay. Thank you.
So we'll, after next Monday's meeting, I'll know more what, kind of what they're expecting to see. And whether or not lime timber, if they do change the design, we have to go back to them to get approval again. Anybody's noticed, there's been some, construction work going on at the health center. We have had water leaking around the sewer line where it enters the health center. Dehumidifiers running during the summer and so on and so forth. So we dug up the sewer line to try to.
Water line.
No, sewer line, to try to stop the water from coming in around the groundwater. Found out that the water table was about 2 feet up the foundation wall. So obviously the footing drains were not working. We dug some of them up and cleaned them out and so on and so forth. Changed some of the drainage systems down there. Now we have a sump pit outside the building pulling, so the water doesn't have to go into the building and then get pumped out. We'll be finishing that hopefully tomorrow. So that's what's, you see all the mess down there. I waited till after Labor Day, but I didn't want it to go another winter with water running in around the sewer line.
So that sump station would be functional year-round?
Functional year-round, and the two current ones that are in there are the backup system. If the water does get up to that stone and everything else that originally was coming into the sump pit inside. So now we have two backups basically.
Okay.
But my theory is it's a lot easier to keep the water outside than bring it in and then pump it
Pump
back
it
up.
back out and have it come in again?
It's, the basement's about 1.5 feet lower than the creek that runs along the side of it.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to
Yep.
keep it dry. It involves pumps. I see I assume there's going to be discussion about the procurement policy. I'll just wait for that. Hopefully I'll be able to add my 2 cents to it,
Okay,
if you
How's
don't
that
mind.
Sign for the library, I think.
Yeah, it's on the list. She's asked for us to put up a sign on the gazebo and paint the steps of the old steps that were supposed to get replaced at the library. We haven't gotten to that yet. And we also haven't gotten to pricing out the sidewalks. So you forgot about that.
Oh, I didn't forget about it.
And that's about it, I believe.
that's it?
Yep.
Okay, we'll move into old business. The first thing I have on the agenda is the auditor. Nancy and I met with Willard Reynolds, BSG and Company. We proposed this at the last meeting. You all received a copy of the proposal, and I believe we both feel very favorable as to hiring him for the year 2020 and to do an audit. And we'll move this to the full board for a vote this time to hire BSG and Company.
This would be a 1-year contract,
Yes,
renewable for up to 5
Yes.
years, right?
yes, that's what he had in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
proposal.
that's the law for that.
Yeah.
And then he'll order 2020 or 2019?
2019.
Okay. Oh, I meant 19 or 18.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm running ahead here.
Yeah. So do we have a motion to hire BSG and Company? Moved by Nancy,
I'll second.
second by Mike. Any other discussion?
I would suggest a letter gets sent out to him, or a phone call.
Yeah, I told Mike to give him a call, so it's decided. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Next item is the procurement policy. I'll receive a copy of it at the last meeting. And I guess we're gonna have some discussion. Randy, you wanna start?
Sure. I don't know how, my version did not come out with red and so on and so forth that I see is there. But, the first question I have, I don't know. Sole source situations, item B. Sole source can be very tricky. in
Item B on,
How we, first page, page 1, item B, except directed by the town board, written proposals for quotation shall be required under the following circumstances. I understand emergencies, I assume that's when trucks, plows, whatever, I need parts, I don't need, I'm allowed in the beginning of the year, $2,500.
Right,
As long as in your budget, you can have
Right.
that.
right.
So the sole source situations, to put out, I mean, there's a very large gray area of what is the same exact piece of equipment, part, tool, whatever. You can get that's for instance, you can get a chainsaw that looks identical, but it's not. So is it identical or not?
I don't understand the problem, Randy, because what it's saying is that if there's a sole source situation, you don't have to get written proposals or quotations.
Okay.
So am I misunderstanding you?
Well, my question is what, the sole source, how nitpicking are we going to get? Who defines whether or not it's a sole source?
It would be the sole source.
Right. So, there really, I mean, with that, there really isn't a sole source. Because there's so many options out there. I can buy a truck. And whether or not that truck has aquamarine blue or Hawaiian blue, would that mean that I spec out Hawaiian blue if I want Utica Mac to buy
No,
some
because
thing?
you can't do that. Specifications may not be so specific as to rule out all except one particular brand. So that kind of covers that.
So once again, I'm saying that there's no such thing as sole source.
Well, it
I
can't.
mean, I just wanna know what the rules are, you know, what
Okay, what about what did we buy, excavator?
grader.
Grader, thank
I
you.
wanted to buy an excavator.
I know. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yep, grader.
What if you needed a part for that particular grader, and the only source for it was from the manufacturer, then that's a sole source.
Okay,
Do you think we need further, I think what you're saying is we need further definition there?
well, I just wanna know what, because if you go to line, somewhere in here I read that if this is not any official or whatever, I could be responsible for paying for this if we find that I didn't go by the rules. Well, then I wanna know what the rules are.
Yeah, that was the whole idea of doing this. So, because they're,
Because if you're gonna make me personally liable for whether or not the gray area was discussed or covered, we need to discuss the gray area. Cause if
Okay.
I buy a part from John Deere for that grader and then we find out within the next meeting time that I could have bought it an aftermarket part,
That's not the same.
I
You
think
know what
as
I
long
mean?
as you weren't getting a kickback for buying it from me.
Right.
Be
well,
safe.
I thinks and I hopes doesn't get me off the line for being liable for
Okay.
the $17,000 part.
If you go down to page 5, toward the bottom of the page, number 3, sole source purchases. Competitive bidding proposals are not required in situations where there is only one possible source from which to procure required goods and services, such as patented goods and services or public utility services.
Your page is different than mine.
Yeah, thank you.
See, you're at a disadvantage because you didn't get the one with all
Well,
the
I can't
red.
find it either.
Like that.
I didn't bring mine. I was doing pretty good, actually.
Oh, were you? You need further away?
No, not further away, but
You said page 5.
Yeah.
It might
Oh, it
be-
may not have come out on page 5
Right,
for
it
you.
might come out different.
Let me-
What is it
I'll tell you.
under?
Sole source purchases in capital letters. Oh, my goodness.
Ten four.
That printout got really small on your
Oh, okay, so yeah, it's
Okay,
on the
on
bottom
page
of 4.
But I think a good example would be the delivery part of your electric bill can only come from the National Grid because they own it.
Right.
Right,
Okay, so that would be the sole source. Now, you
Right.
could, as far as the supply is concerned, you could buy that from several different places.
You're missing page 3. That would be a problem.
I shuffled them so many times I wore them out.
I don't think that, the intention of a procurement policy is not to set a trap for your department heads. It's just to give guidance, and
Which,
if somebody made an honest error, I don't think, who's gonna be out to hold somebody liable for that,
No.
Plus, you have, all department heads have the discretion as long as the money's in their budget for certain things.
right,
Up to a certain amount.
up to a certain
Yeah,
amount.
Up to a certain amount, yeah.
Okay, so we'll move off of that one at this point.
But are you satisfied with that? Or no, you don't have the thing in front of you, so maybe we will just hold off on this again.
We can hold up, I mean, it's not something we have to take care of
Well, I
right
have a
now.
whole other page
Oh,
of
yeah.
scribbles.
Okay,
that we
let's
can
go through
if
it.
we wanna.
Go through what you got.
Okay,
Yeah.
Maybe we can simmer some of these.
Yeah.
So from $0 to $999 on the purchase of like commodities.
Okay, is this
My
further
page two.
down or
My
before?
page 2,
Yeah, it's
Your
under
page
purchase
2.
of commodities.
purchase of commodities, where it
Okay.
breaks it down into dollar signs.
Yeah, now that's something I thought the board should discuss, is the estimated amount of purchase contract. Cause you're the one that does the buying, Debbie does the buying, the other department heads.
Right, so according to this, what I read here, is the department head has to purchase it. Well, that means,
You and I don't have time to do all the purchasing.
there's no way.
I don't do all the purchasing.
I would have a list, in the winter time, probably a page long, every day, from Malcolm. Who I authorize, as long, I tell him up to $500, it's an understanding, that to buy the parts as he seems fit, and then when they come in, if I need explanation, then I get it from him. To
So-
every fuse, every this, that, is,
Verbal quotes too.
2 verbals.
So maybe it should say purchases may be made by the department head or his designated representative or town official.
well, the problem, the biggest problem is not
the
only
amount?
does he make the list, is now I have to go get 2 verbal quotes.
2 verbal quotes.
I mean, if you think about what we order out front between paper and cases of toilet paper, paper towels and stuff like that, our average order is around $300 when we're loading up, because don't forget, we're buying for primary care, library, all the paper things. So, I mean, if we had to stop, I mean, we stop and have to get 2 verbal orders when we've already established,
That's who you're buying it from.
we've been doing it for years.
Exactly, and that's the point. You may get a far better price at a different firm, but you're in the habit of getting it from this
Well,
one
no,
place or
we've switched-
whoever.
We've switched around a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah, we have. I'm just saying, I don't have time to do this at this amount. I mean, Faith does the buying for the front and the library and the primary care. So. I mean, I just
I
think,
wonder if it could be worded in such a way that, like, 2 verbal quotes at the beginning of each year to establish who you're getting stuff from, something like
like
that.
at the organizational meeting, you mean, something like that?
Yeah,
You could do-
something like that, would that make
we could
sense
pick
to
a
you?
time then, it's more convenient to
Yeah, in a
to
way.
do
but then
RFQs
It's still a
It
zero,
would,
for the everyday stuff.
I think $0 to $990 is, like you said, we could do that in a day when you're buying all the stuff for everybody, all the different offices.
Well, we can take verbal quotes out of the, under $1,000 field, it's up to the board.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I just don't like to see people get into the habit of getting from the same.
Single
pe-
source.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think I
understand.
think we've gone around the
I get it.
mill.
but if we did it at an organizational meeting and said we're gonna get them from
Yeah, Debbie
Amazon,
came in
say-
with 2 quotes for all the paper products.
Right,
Right.
but
All
then
coming from the
you-
same company.
But then you would probably, during the year, say, oh, look at this place has it on sale. you know, then do we, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? You would already have, the board would have already approved
Either home,
one place,
Yeah.
and then perhaps there's another place that, you know that there's stuff on sale, because we
Well,
do
the board
get-
doesn't have to approve it, and the way it's written is, it would just be that 2 verbal quotes were needed, and then obviously if you get a better price,
Right,
you could go there, because the whole point of this kind of policy is to save the taxpayer money.
oh, yeah, but 0 to 9, I mean, 0, I think what were we
I think that's
before,
the-
it was 250?
yeah,
Yeah, 250.
Yep.
yeah.
I brought it up.
So you wanna change it to 0 to 250?
Which is what we had before.
No, we
No,
had
no, no.
250 up.
200.
Oh, you started at 250.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here,
yeah, well, if the board wants to change that.
that's the current.
So we
Yeah,
had,
she's got a copy of that.
so 250 to $2,999, we had to have 2 verbal quotations required, but anything below 250, we didn't have to have anything.
Copies.
You wanna make copies now?
I brought my own.
Okay.
Okay, so is everybody in agreement, change that to 250 to 999.99?
Sure, that takes the pencils out of it.
Exactly.
So we're gonna put it back to 250. Okay, okay.
This is just, you know, a draft.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next one is 1,000 to 499.
Big one, pass it around.
Nice and warm.
Thank you. Okay, so what about the high end there? Right now it's $999.99. Does everybody think that's fine, or do you wanna make it match what you have already? Which is $2,999.
Randy?
Well, are we, these verbal quotations, which I do on this, and then cause I'm at 2,500. Bob's
And no
correct.
time.
Right, and Bob's corrected me a couple of times when I've come to the board with 1,500 or whatever and asked,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, you don't have to, and I'm like, well, I still bring it to your
Yeah.
attention. Are we filing
Well,
such paperwork with the clerk? Cause that's further down on my list of things.
yeah, it should be filed somewhere,
Right,
so that you can prove.
I
whether
have a folder this thick of these in my
Yeah.
office that the last time we got audited
Okay, well,
asked for, but.
Doesn't necessarily have to be the town clerk, I think it could be you, you know. But do you want,
No, I'll do mine.
make the, no, I mean just yours.
I mean, just your own,
Yeah,
as your own
You
department.
wanna make the, estimated amount of purchase contracts on the draft match what you've already got?
it,
That
it would make it easier,
It would
Yeah,
make sense to
Yeah,
me,
makes sense, yeah, yeah.
cause that's what you're used
That's
to
what
doing.
we're used to.
right.
Yeah, okay, so it's gonna be,
And it hasn't been abused.
No. So we'll keep the amounts the same? Mm-hmm. Okay. And the policies, whether it's written or faxed.
Okay.
And on that bottom, we did change just a while back about advertising for bids. It was 10,000, then we put it over on 20,000, so we can just keep that too, for that change. Keep it all the same.
Right.
wait a minute, I gotta keep up with you here. So the second line's gonna be 3,000 to 4,999. Third line's going to be 5,000 to, okay, that's it.
Yep.
The same one. No. Oh, you're saying the 3,000 to 49.99, you're gonna leave it at 2 written quotations, fax quotations? Because that's what you already have, okay?
Yep, so it just would be the same.
5 to 19.
Okay. What else?
You got something else, Randy?
Well, that got me down to,
Thank God.
sorry.
It just went down a little further.
I'm down here now. The written documentation, which we just pretty much discussed, this form is going to be filled out for anything above $250. And then it's going to be filed with whom?
With you, the department head.
With each department head. Okay, so we can
Okay,
change
so
that.
change
As long as
the
everybody
town clerk
agrees to
to
that,
the
yeah.
department head,
Yeah, that way everybody's responsible for their own.
Right.
yeah.
Paperwork.
And in a town that's small,
Otherwise, she's gonna have a stack.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing that we really, the only thing I really do, Wendy and I do keep together is really anything big.
Yeah.
The
When we put out the
Right.
bids and stuff like that, that I keep on file.
Right, well, that's a
Yeah.
different animal.
But, yeah, but,
Well, that's
yeah,
really big.
yeah,
I have these, anytime I fill out one of these, they're back
Okay.
there.
And then you just attach whatever you get to it.
To it.
yeah.
If they're written quotes, and then
Just stick them
I
on.
circle the one that says, the one that we purchased.
Yep,
It's pretty simple bookkeeping.
yep.
So then when the auditor came and said, did you do this? I just pulled out the folder. He goes, oh. I said, which one do you want?
The Public Works project, underneath that, is that, would that have the same dollar amounts? We
public
just did
works are
purchase of-
different from, goods and
Right.
services.
Right,
So you went past professional services and down to,
So that
no,
would
I
take-
didn't go past it, I went from purchase of like commodities, then below that is Public Works.
oh, okay, I
project.
see it, I see it.
That's on a page I don't have.
Yeah.
And that,
That's,
we really don't have a Public Works department, we have highway.
no, public works project is like building a new building, building a new
Large
road,
projects, like the pole barn.
very
Okay.
large
Okay.
projects, yeah. So Randy, would you, since the public works projects would pretty much be your bailiwick, what we have right here
That's the
is
issue.
0 to 999.99, awarded at the discretion of the department head. Would you like that to match above? I mean, there's not gonna be a public works project for 0 to 999.
No, there shouldn't be.
Well, the thing is,
No.
if we match it to this, then
Yeah, then there'd be, just follow.
it's
through.
easier, you don't have to worry about, oh dear, did I do that right?
Right,
Well, it can match up to a certain point.
Yeah, right,
Let's see, okay,
Well-
so,
it's gonna go above the 20.
so, that one. And then this one you're saying, Bob?
Yeah, that's the 3,000 to the, yeah.
And then I think,
But I wonder if we wanna change
You got
that
different pages than I do.
to the, just an
This one,
idea
you
to
want
change
me
it
to
to the
make
20,
copy of?
to the 19,999. That way it would be
Yours just isn't pretty bad.
consistent, because how does this read compared to the one above?
Oh, okay, I see where they're at.
So make it the same amount.
it's the same.
It's the same, so,
But it's just that another line has been added through. It's the same, except this part is higher on public works, which makes sense, you know?
yeah, that's true. And would be really doing pretty much the same. This is neat. Helping me.
So Randy, you got your page in front of you
Yep,
for that?
I do.
We're at, under Public Works Project, estimated amount of purchase contract. The proposal is to change it, the first one to 250 to 299.99.
We'll follow that, okay.
Yep, follow that.
Next one.
And then the next highest would be 3,000 to 499.99.
5 to
19.
34,999.
I think,
Unless the board would like something different, you know, I mean, this is just a compilation of procurement policies that I tracked down and the Office of State Comptrollers guidance. Doesn't mean it has to be like this, the board can do whatever you wanna do, it's, the point is just have a procurement policy that everybody can go to and say, well, this is what we have to do.
Right.
And I am trying to make a flow chart to make it easier for everybody, but apparently, I am not smart enough to do that quickly.
This is simplicity.
Yeah, this is nice and easy, yeah.
We keep that under our bladders.
Do you think this is something that we should, I don't wanna say table, but,
Well,
you know,
We can
because
table it
again,
again, and-
I'm not sure we're all on the same page,
Well, we can
literally.
Let's
I'm
hash
fine
this out
with,
and then.
hash it out, then we'll
Yeah,
bring it up at the next
Then
meeting.
bring it up, yeah, then.
But right now,
read it.
the goods and the commodity services are gonna be the same as this.
Right.
Right.
I have a question on page, well, my page 3. The no official or employee shall be interested financially in any contract entered into by the town. This also precludes acceptance of gratuities, financial or otherwise, from any supplier of materials or services. That could be an issue for parts, Randy?
Cause that would mean I can't buy them from O'Connor's.
Right.
Which we don't typically go to,
Emergency.
but it's, oh, do you have this? It's right here in town.
It's a game changer if you need it.
Exactly. And now it's saying we can't do that.
wouldn't that fall under sole source?
you could also have, you could put a limit on the amount. So in other words, if you were buying parts from Mike, you're not gonna buy, for instance, a transmission for a grader from him, you know what I'm saying?
No,
You know what I'm
correct.
saying? So,
We typically don't buy much, I mean, you see the bills.
yeah, they're 20,
20,
the one
40,
tonight was
$50,
$27
yeah.
or something like that.
But at this point in time, we couldn't even get trucks inspected.
Inspections,
So,
Now we're going out of town just for inspections,
Yeah.
How much are inspections?
20.
so what I'm suggesting is,
still
we
more
put,
than that
we
first
put an
one.
amount there.
Oh, in any contract worth more than $100 or
$100
something
or
like that,
something like
would that,
that, it's just to cover for the,
would that
you know,
cover
if
it,
you need a
Mike?
set of spark plugs or something.
Oh, that would definitely
I think so,
cover it.
yeah. Definitely.
I mean, it's not like we're on Central Avenue, you know,
Right.
we've got
Right, we don't have
6 different
options.
places, right?
Exactly.
I don't know, does $100 seem reasonable? I mean, or is that,
And that would be
100?
per purchase, because we do pay
right,
a
it'd be per purchase,
statement, so the
Yeah.
statement could be over that, yeah,
but no invoice would be,
right.
No invoice, right?
or no,
Yeah,
yeah.
line Nancy. We took one line.
Thank you, Nancy.
I'm thinking the word contract kind of covers that, because we don't have a contract with Mike, you just go when you need something.
Yeah, but the section above
There's a
Right,
section in
Nancy,
there that says,
kind of makes it kind of.
Remember,
No
this is
official
public
or-
works projects that we're in now, not
Oh, is
purchase
it?
of goods and services, this is public works projects.
I didn't realize
I
it
didn't
was a
realize that.
heading, you know, separate.
Yeah. Yes, I don't think there's any need for that.
No, I don't think so, but
I
I
don't
mean,
think
if the
so either.
board, okay.
Maybe that section should just be removed then,
No, I think it should be in there.
It should be in
because-
there, you just don't need the dollar value.
just put the maximum dollar amount in then,
No, we don't have to, because it's a public works project.
yeah.
that's where there's gonna be a contract, so
Typically be a contract.
this is to avoid, like, Delaney.
No, as long as that's in Public Works
Yeah,
projects.
Public Works.
I didn't realize
Should
that
be
was,
okay.
it was under that same
That was
heading.
my, I didn't realize that. The way this is laid out.
What's next?
Well, I don't have a page, so I'll let somebody else take over.
Pages.
Well, from there to purchasing agent, I don't have.
Well, professional services is next, Randy, so that
You don't,
wouldn't fall under yours, would
Not
it?
professional, no.
No, well, I mean, if you have to hire an engineer, but the board would do that, right?
Right, the board would do that.
Okay.
Proprietary software was one that all software purchases must be budgeted for and require approval of the purchasing agent.
Where are you?
Well, my page 4, just above emergency purchases. 2 paragraphs above emergency.
Okay, got it. Initial decisions, yeah.
Is that the category?
Well, initial decisions to purchase proprietary software should conform to the request for proposals requirement. However, subsequent purchases of integrated software modules may not be subject to request for proposals if it is deemed and documented to be contrary to the public interest to deviate from an adopted business platform, which, I mean, it's like if we purchased Norton antivirus special for the Lake Pleasant Town Board. And then obviously we're not gonna go get something else, we're gonna, if we needed,
an upgrade.
Antivirus, yeah.
We're not-
yeah, an upgrade, that's a good word for it, yeah. So we're gonna, well, we would stick with that.
Unless something else comes out better, and then we would have to discuss it as a town
Right.
board.
Yeah.
Have the board approval.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, cause proprietary software, that's something that's created specifically for us. And I don't picture us doing
I
that,
don't
don't
either.
have a need,
And I
really.
don't think we have anything created
So,
we don't,
specifically
no.
for us.
not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Figured that was it.
There was something about encumbrances. Now I'm on page 5. Department responsibilities. And it says cancellations, departments will notify the account clerk of the complete cancellation of a purchase order. Encumbrance may be, so the encumbrance may be liquidated. We do not encumber.
We gotcha.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Well, encumbrances are, you hold that money when, like if you're buying something, Randy wants to buy a new loader. So
Okay,
we'll put, $500,000. No, I'm kidding, but if someone was gonna buy a computer and say you have $200 or $300, you hold that $200 or $300
Right.
until
It's
the
encumbered,
voucher
like a
comes
capital
in.
fund is encumbered.
Right, but we
Okay.
don't do that for smaller purchases because we don't, we just don't, we don't hold that. I believe the computer system is able to do that, but it's never been done here. The county might do that, do they?
The encumbrance.
Think
I
so.
remember, yeah, I remember encumbrance.
Well, I think you're probably right, and we could, unless I'm not following you well, we can't cancel a capital fund.
But this is under a
Right.
capital fund, or this is
No, I'm saying the
under-
only place we would have encumbrances would be either on a budget line or a capital fund, right? And a budget line isn't holding for something specific, only.
The only thing we would have, an encumbrance, kinda, is a reserve fund. where we, we're gonna
Right.
put money in to eventually buy a big
Right.
item.
Big item.
Right,
We don't do that for anything else in the budget.
so and once we establish one of those funds, we can't change our mind, right?
Right,
So this should just come out.
well. It's a cancellation of a purchase order, so we don't do purchase orders and we don't do encumbrances. We
Should we just take it out then?
purchase and pay, voucher it.
Okay.
Is that 5?
Well,
That
that's
is obviously
this?
something we don't need.
Department responsibilities. I see, I'm the only one that did it in red.
We don't
You're
have
the
col-
one
we
that
don't have
told me
color
that you
printers.
didn't get
Yeah,
it.
I have a color printer.
Everything I print's black and white.
Anybody else have any other suggestions, changes?
Go ahead.
The requisitions, right under that,
Okay.
is that a written requisition for items that want to be purchased? Is that what that means? I read this before the last meeting, I didn't read it again
But
before
this
this one.
is-
That may be something that we don't need, because, I mean, although
I mean,
Dan is technically the purchasing agent.
But isn't this still under the, section, same section?
I don't know, because now I'm getting confused.
Me too, that's what I mean.
Department responsibilities.
But is that still under, oh, this
we
is
got
under,
emergency purchases, sole
Emergency
source
purchases.
purchases, department responsibilities, then requisition.
okay.
We may not even need that.
That's right.
Strike it?
The only, something like that wouldn't be that could be put on vouchers, the invoice number or the, that kind of information should be put on a voucher.
It should
along
be,
with the
yeah.
bill. Yeah.
Does everybody think we should strike it? Okay.
Yeah. Any others? Maybe we should do a draft of these changes and
Yeah.
look at it again, because I'm just not something we have to take care of right.
No, I don't think
No.
we should. I think we should keep hammering at it until we get it exactly the way we want it. I mean, this is just something to get us started.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a living document, it's gonna get changed.
And Randy, you wanna look a
But
little
the
more
thing is,
into
hasn't been
sole
changed
source
since
and-
1992.
What's that?
You want us to
Yeah,
investigate?
that sole source thing's got me honestly
Alright, we'll look
nervous,
into it.
'cause you can blend things, and if you're holding me liable, I want a very descriptive explanation of what
Yeah,
that
There's
is.
sole source justification on here, did you see that? At the very back,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mine split up in two
so you
pages.
have to write an essay.
Right. File an essay for a hydraulic pump.
alright, anything else?
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, if it's something that would concern you, then pull the board.
Right.
Let's do that now and,
The
Yeah.
bid
I mean, you're already doing that.
process.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's already happening,
Deal with a lot.
but,
Yeah, doesn't happen.
department responsibilities. Line 1.
Where are we now?
I'm on my page 4, department responsibilities, under purchasing agent responsibilities, where you left off.
Where do we left off? Okay.
Oh, you don't have one?
My page 4, but,
Develop
Yeah, and you have teeny weeny writing, so
exactly.
department
Oh, here we go. Got it.
responsibilities.
it's at the very bottom of page 5 on my computer.
Okay, so expenditures should be plan sufficiently in advance to allow purchasing agent to review the best price and overall service. What is that pertaining to?
Well, nothing now because we struck out requisitions.
Okay,
Okay, so did we strike out that department responsibilities too? Purchase orders, yeah, those are purchase orders. Department shall plan purchases sufficiently in advance to allow best price.
Well,
That's a wonderful idea for procrastinators, right, Randy?
Number
well,
three,
let's,
Yeah, number 3.
let's strike out the purchasing agent, so it would read, expenditures should be planned sufficiently in advance to allow review for best price and/or overall service.
Yeah,
So we can strike the purchasing agent too.
you mean the above where it says purchasing agent responsibilities, 1, 2, 3? And then it has department
I thought you were
responsibilities.
under department responsibilities.
I was, but I was.
Oh, you're
looking
going
above-
backwards,
Just,
okay.
yeah, because
I
you
started
said
to-
strike the purchasing agent, and that above shows purchasing agent responsibilities.
Yeah, if we're gonna get rid of, the purchasing agent, we ought to get rid of it every place, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, it does. This is,
it's a cricket.
It's all for me.
that cricket's been, this is the second year I've had that cricket in this building.
okay, is that all for everybody?
It starts here, and then it goes around.
Cause
Right.
if,
All day long.
well, yes, for this, maybe I asked the wrong person, but I was told we didn't have one.
Oh, I use that a lot.
They're under our bladders at all times.
I will make the changes. I'll put it all in black text and I will email it out to everybody.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks.
and we'll bring it up at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Keep
Oh, no rush,
hammering
we'll
away
see
on
how
it.
you're doing, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you're busy.
Or when you're ready.
2 weeks is
I mean,
plenty of
it
time.
would kinda make sense for this to start like first of the year.
Odds are I won't be there next,
Yeah,
I mean, that would make,
my anniversary,
Ah,
Peter?
Aye.
we're there close to it.
okay, anything else on that? Any other old business?
Aye.
Hearing none, we'll move into new business. First thing we had was Code Enforcement Officer Bob Bankrick zoning signage. He had asked if the town would consider putting some signs up at the entrances to the town. Zoning law in effect. He says there's a number of people doing stuff and saying, oh, I didn't know I needed a permit, so he said this would, I think there is one to the,
There is one coming up Route 30.
up Route 30, but I don't
No,
think
it
there
says
is.
parking laws enforced, I think is what that sign
No, I
says.
think-
no, isn't
There's
there
a
one
zoning.
down?
South of town.
Somewhere there's a zoning
I
I
sign.
thought that was for the village.
I don't know.
I don't know, I think I've just always assumed it was the
Either way, it
village.
needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So zoning signs?
yeah, zoning
So you
laws in
would need
effect.
to, you need to contact,
DOT,
DOT.
here we go. And ask them.
you're gonna meet with them anyway.
I'm gonna be meeting with them.
Think we could discuss that
I'll have
that
a, yeah, I'll bring it up.
day? Okay. Next item I had was the local government review board is requesting that we, I believe we already are members of the local government review board. And want us to sign the agreement. I just pass this by the board for approval. The agreement made between the town of Lake Pleasant and the Adirondack Park Local Government Review Board. The board duly authorizes an existing pursuant to the provisions of 803A of the executive law. Whereas the review board was created by the legislature of the state of New York and is composed of representatives appointed to the county legislatures of the county line. I'll give you a copy of this, Deb. No. In whole and part
Wasn't
within the
up to date
Adirondack Park. And it's, whereas the town has authorized an appropriation in sum of $300, I think it's been $300 for a long time.
For a long
In
time.
support of the work of the review board and representing the interests of the local governments of the Adirondacks. Therefore, it's agreed as follows, the town agrees to pay the review board the sum of $300 for the services of the review board and representing the town in matters related to the Adirondack Park.
Is this for 2020?
Yes,
Okay.
so I'll entertain for a motion to sign the agreement.
So moved.
Moved by Chris,
Second.
second by Bob, all in favor?
Can I just ask a question?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Is that paid this year for next year or next year? Because if we have dues, they have to
God
get
forbid
paid
we
in the
pay those
right
dues in the
year.
right year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because if it's dues for 2020, we can't put it in 2019. It only can go in 2020.
I'm sure that,
We'll just have to wait until it's
have to
2020.
wait
Oh,
till
and,
after
oh,
the first of the year.
and we have
We
to.
might get a bill then.
Yeah.
I'm not
But right now
sure
we
if
just
do,
sign the
you know,
agreement.
Oh,
at the
this is just the
beginning of
agreement,
year.
we'll probably
This
get a
is
bill.
just the agreement,
Okay.
yeah.
You're right, that's.
And then we'll hold on to that
Okay, thank you.
for the organizational meeting.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
Vote.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Yes, and just today I received a packet from ADK Action, wondering if we would sign in on an MOU to, that's a memorandum of understanding urging the DOT to take action to reduce the amount of salt used on the roads. And they suggest that we bring this to the board. Is this something we wanna look at, or? And it doesn't sound like that's the case.
Guidance, Randy?
No,
Okay.
No?
my own personal opinion is they have not litigated enough where they wanna cut the salt out, but they don't wanna hold anybody else responsible. And, yeah, we'll put less salt on the road as soon as the state tells us to. But then who are they going to be putting in that court hearing? That little Johnny died because we didn't keep the roads fair. It's gonna be me.
Well,
I disagree with that. They haven't done their homework enough how to clear cut the roads, get the sunlight on the roads, do this, do that. It's nice that they start, but I'm not in agreement with their philosophies.
I'll tell you
because
what.
They're not doing their homework afterwards.
I'll tell you what, maybe I'll let you read the MOU, then we'll bring it up at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't read it all myself yet, so I just got it, just came today, so.
Is that something you can scan and send out to us so we can?
Sure can. MOU. Okay. Any other new business? Hearing none, I'll entertain for a motion to pay the bills. If you want to look them over and signed up
I'll move.
by Nancy,
Second.
second by Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, and we're back to public comments. Anyone?
Well, here,
Mark?
I just want to verify with Randy, Dan, Debbie, and Nancy that you received the budget packets that I passed around.
Yep.
Thank you.
And the information is due by September 20th on forms. And if you anticipate any problems in getting the numbers ready by then, please give me a call or email me. And if you'd like to get together, putting the preliminary numbers down, I'm available. And then the fun will start after September 20th.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Shorty?
Yeah, on that procurement policy, is that something that has to be changed? Because all the while I worked for the town, the highway superintendent run the highway department, and he told me that he was elected by the people to run the highway department, and he did his own budget and did what he could to stay within the budget. Well, at one time during the 90s, the town board started to try to micromanage the highway department, and I think out of all the board members, there might have been one on the board that was a little mechanically inclined to know what it costs to fix that equipment and stuff like that. And just to cite one instance, the town had a compactor out on the landfill, and a part broke onto it. And all of a sudden, the town supervisor says, well, this thing is, the only place you can get the part is from the manufacturer. The part was $11,000. I was the head mechanic at the time, and one of our salesmen that come in was Dick Citron from Utica. So I talked to Dick and told him what we had and gave me a number, and he said, call this guy and maybe he can help you out. The guy has a used lot down in the Carolinas of all kinds of heavy equipment. We took a picture of what we needed, send it to him. $2,500 for the part that was put in, and years later, when they got rid of the compactor, it was still running. So if the town board would have did what they wanted to do, we would have spent $11,000 instead of $2,500. Also, another case, when the village was running the Skeeto, the piston bully had a big problem, and they were told the same thing. The only place that you could get it fixed was the dealer. The dealer had to come, load the equipment on a trailer, haul it out of town, fix it, bring it back. $25,000 bill was the estimate. One of the guys that did some work for us on one of our loaders, when the ram blew out, was down in Skodak. I called that guy, he come up, he was up here skiing, he looked at the piston bully, he said, we can fix it, and we can fix it right here in the yard. And if I remember right, I think it cost $5,000 to fix it. So, you know, as far as the highway department taking care of their equipment, I don't think it has ever been abused by any highway superintendent that I've ever known. And as far as trying to micromanage their job, I don't think it, let them do their job. So that's all I got to say. I think Randy does a great job.
Yeah,
and they don't spend anything that they don't have to.
Well, that's true, and the procurement policy isn't to scrutinize Randy or any of the other department heads, it's just a policy to follow on purchases.
Well, you know, at one time the county took a bid on fuel, and they were saving something like a nickel a gallon on fuel. Before that, they've been buying their fuel from Agway down in Fort Plain for years. They never had a problem. So they switched to this fly-by-night outfit out of Marcy to save a nickel a gallon. The first load of gas that came into this town, the town and the highway both went to the same guy. The first load of gas that came into this place, the highway superintendent pulled up to the pump, filled his pickup up, and couldn't even get out of the yard. We dropped the gas tank and took about 20 gallons of water out of there with mud mixed in. The guy, the reason why he could sell his fuel for 5 cents less a gallon than the guy in Fort Plain is because he was buying the bottom of the barges. And if you know what that phrase means, it means when everybody gets the good stuff, what's left over in the barge, that's what you buy, and most of the time it's got water and everything else mixed in with it, so, you know, as far as.
All right, well, thank you, Shorty. Anyone else?
I have a question,
Sure.
kind of a follow-up on the abstract. I'm curious if the total board has taken the time to read through it.
I have.
That's a question.
I have.
You have to skim
That's
through
two
it.
out of
Yep,
5.
I've skimmed through it.
I read it twice, and I can tell you there are bits and pieces missing. And I recall when the preparation man came in from Hamilton County Abstract and gave his presentation, he did say it was a bit messy. I found only really two pertinent pieces of right-of-way comment in the abstract, about, one about, well, actually both of them, Doris and Peter Sengenberger and Carl Steinberg as having purchased right-of-ways there. There was nothing to mention my later purchase and prior purchase of a right-of-way prior to the sale to the town. And that would have seemed to be an important piece because the history of my property goes back to 1960. And Dr. Whitlock was the purchaser of my property. And there is significant question about the wording of sale versus deeding of a right. Christine, I think you're pretty familiar with that part of the
Yeah, I'm not.
detail. And I just want you to be sure, because it seems to me that the abstract was a matter of convenience for the preparer to lead to the desirable intention of the town to sell the piece of property. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, we have one more thing. We were told before that a municipality does not have to always take the lowest bid if there's a quality or a service question involved into it. As with that gasoline thing, the town canceled their, or the county canceled their contract with that fuel company and went back to Agway in Fort Wayne, even though it was a little bit more expensive, so. And the AG or the controller's office said it was proper, so.
all right, thank you. Anyone else? Roundtable, Deb, anything? Nancy?
The only thing I have is, it's kind of convoluted, but the library was, I don't want to say notified, but Sal's has been looking at different websites, and there are bots, I guess, that are out there that different corporations use to make sure that organizations are not using their pictures, copyrighted or not. The library website had some, there's also bots that look for children, you know, like putting pictures of children in, and you have to have all kinds of parental signatures before you could put a child's face in a picture. And we've been, as a library board, working on making sure that the library's website does not have that. I contacted Steve Swan a couple of times and I haven't gotten word from him that if someone wants to come back and say, we want to sue you, this could go for the town's website, this could go for anything that's online. That if they want to come back and say, we want to sue you, I just want to find out if the town is covered in a situation like that. And that would go for, if you go on Google, this could go for any of us. This isn't just an organization. If you go to Google Images and you use that online, like on a Facebook page or something like that, where it's just an image that you do, someone owns that image. Or if you have some kind of Microsoft Word, they have images on there, but not all of their images are covered by you having Microsoft Word. So it's a new thing.
Copyright issue.
Yeah, it's a copyright, like if the library was going to show Star Wars for a movie night and took a picture of the DVD and said Star Wars, we'd get sued for that because we're using Star Wars. So you can type Star Wars, but you can't use their photos. So that is something that the library is looking into. It has been cleared up on any of the library's sites, but just wanted to let you know too, as far as doing the towns. You got mostly my
Oh, I
picture.
know all about copyright infringement.
Right, but now it's.
I don't use any photos that are licensed or copywritten.
Just mine. Those were on the other site, but no problem there. But it's something that we should all, individuals. I know I've seen beautiful pictures or something on Google Images and, put it on my Facebook page, Happy Thanksgiving, a picture of a cute little turkey or something. You could get in trouble for that. So just for people to be aware. And I'm checking
It would
into
be
it to see
interesting to find out if the town is insured if somebody makes a mistake like that.
Yeah, because this is
A lot of people do
something
not
that's.
realize they can't just use anything they happen to stumble across on the internet.
Exactly.
Called an errors and omission policy.
I'm sorry?
It's called an errors and omission policy.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm,
Might be worthy of pursuing it.
yes. I guess Steve's son was on vacation for a couple of weeks.
I'll check with Steve Son on that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Mike? Randy? Chris?
Yep. The cable TV contract is expiring October 31st. And if we're going to change anything about that contract, we're going to have to sit down pretty soon and discuss it. And anytime we discuss the cable TV contract at a board meeting, we have to notify the cable TV company that we're doing so.
Sure.
I just don't want us to get caught with our pants down on, October 15th or 20th or something.
Okay,
They have channels missing too right now, I guess, right?
yeah.
Having what?
Some channels.
Oh gosh, they've had trouble with that all forever. Seems to be the networks more than anything else.
Yeah,
As far as I can determine, but I don't have cable TV.
neither do I, but.
But we're hoping for Spectrum, aren't we?
Careful what you hope for.
I'll call, I think it was Bradford
It has to
Kelly
be better.
is his name. I'll check on that, Chris, before the next meeting. Bob?
No, I don't.
And I have nothing, so this time I'll entertain for a motion to adjourn. Anyone?
move.
Nancy? And a second.
Second,
And Chris,
we're also
all
showing.
in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Just an FYI, we're gonna leave. We're going for a week.
Okay,
Meetings in Pennsylvania,
all right,
but I'll have my computer.
okay.
Phone.
So do you think she's gonna get that?
No, she better get it.
Are you kidding me? That's a $50 bill. She can get that.
And Dan, remember the next meeting is at here,
Yeah.
which I'll advertise for.